Steve, I'd like to thank you. I've enjoyed everything on this. For all these gentlemen up here, the inductees, it's been my pleasure to either know of them or know some of them very well, which is great for me. I'm very proud to be the presenter for my friend Tony. From 1937 to 1960, our lives were very intertwined. What we did, what he did athletically, which you have in the books, I followed him from year to year, step by step, on every one of those accomplishments he did. Besides that, I got to know Tony as a man, and the bond between us grew very much. Our relationship started in 1937 and 38 as members of the Altoona High School football team. It was at this time, or during this time, that I got to realize my friend is 145 pounds of dynamite and moves that coaches don't teach. Speaking of 145 pounds, I had a smile off and on during the years that we were together when he would make the comment, "I'm going to get back to my high school weight." He never quite made it. Then from 1940 to 43, as Stan has mentioned, we were both off to Catawba College. How it all happened, I think we have to thank Sis Dignas. But we ended up going to Catawba together, and for those 3 years, as Stan mentioned, we were teammates on football and baseball, members of the teams, and we also were roommates, and we were traveling partners, going back and forth from Altoona to Catawba. It was easy for us back then because both of our parents worked for the Pennsylvania Railroad and we rode the train. Now, from 1943, of those 3 years that we spent there at Catawba, the highlight, I think, of Tony's 3 years was in 1942. He had a banner year that year. Now, it's just too bad that he never was able to see the year of 1943 because we were both taken into the service. It wasn't until 1946 that we got back together again. At that time, I lost him as a roommate. He married a dear lady named Eleanor, whose friendship I will always cherish. Now, it was tough for Tony that time because I was back there with him, and you don't go 3 years in a row of football and then you take a vacation for a couple of years and come back to it. But my friend was up to the task. He ended his college career by being in the first Tangerine Bowl in Orlando, Florida. We won the game and Tony scored a touchdown. Then from 1947 to 1960, as Stan also mentioned, we ended up as coaches of the boys in Lewis High School, Lewis, Delaware. Most of you might wonder where Lewis, Delaware was. Well, Tony and I wondered ourselves when we accepted the job. But we teamed very well together. Our results prove it. And Tony, as a baseball coach, had the privilege of sending 2 of his boys to the major leagues. That was not baseball country down there. We were too close to the beach, and most of our athletes in the summertime wanted to go to the beach. They didn't want to play baseball. But he had Chris Short, a left-hander for the Philadelphia Phillies for so many years, and then later on another left-hander, John Morris. It was sad in the fall of 1960 when our coaching relationship ended. We still get to see each other quite a bit. Now on November 7th, 1987, Tony was inducted into the Catawba Sports Hall of Fame. And on November 29th, 4 years later, a testimonial was given. Some 300 athletes, family, and friends of Lewis High School attended. What made it so heartwarming for Tony and I is that it came 31 years after we separated. For these two tributes and for all the other things, I further think that my friend, as a man, as a coach, deserves the honor he's receiving tonight. Thank you.